Hey, this is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you're listening to the Everblack Podcast.
Hey, humans, God, this is odorous from Guam.
Going to battle Fear Factory.
This is George Corshunter Fisher.
This is Gatsby Double Drop.
This is Wade from Our Last Enemy.
Mike Nick from Suicidal Tendencies.
Hey, this is Wednesday 13. This is Rex from Kill Devil Hill.
This is Gary from Sepultura. You're listening to Everblack Podcast.
All right, before we go into this episode, we just need to give a shout out to our show supporters, the brutal occult clothing brand Electric Witch, who have amazing apparel from shirts to hoodies to hats to beanies and more. Check out their full range at electricwitch.com.au and put in the code EverBlack for 20% off your order. Don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the Everblack podcast through Spotify, iTunes, YouTube and Facebook, and check out all our articles at everblackmedia.com. All right, on with the show. So, of course, Dana, thanks for joining us on the Faction and Everblack podcast, man. How's everything going in your world?
Everything's going good. Yeah, like I was saying, just leading up to this this big moment. So I'm stoked.
That's awesome, man. Well, of course, the new Kingdom of Giants album, Passenger, is out now. It's heavy. It's got atmosphere and a lot of heart, dude. It's something I think people need right now in these times.
Totally.
You know, how has it been putting the whole thing together during all of this craziness?
Pretty chaotic, man. You know, it's luckily it was basically done besides my vocals, which I usually record on my own. So it was basically done at the beginning of all this. So we didn't have to do too much of like the writing or recording process through a pandemic, you know? So we got lucky because I imagine like writing, like going to a studio and going to a producer, things are slowly getting a little better here. But when things were really bad, I imagine trying to go to a studio would be difficult. I know a lot of bands had to put their writing process on hold when studio time that was booked, I was out the window. So it was tough. But for us, it was more of just figuring out how we're going to go about the release, watching what other bands are doing, seeing what's working, seeing what's not, seeing what's going to be played out by the time our album comes out, thinking about things like, do we push it back or how do we just go about everything now? Because it's so new for all of us.
Yeah, I had to do some sneaking during lockdown to do vocals.
Oh, for real?
I knew, man, like it was hard, like we were in a heavy lockdown, but I had to do it. So it was the only time booked in. But it was all right.
Yeah, it's like I was actually, so we had a tour, an overseas tour with, overseas for us, with this band called Alaska from Germany. And March, I think it was March 14th. I live like 8 hours south of the rest of my band. I live down in Southern California. They live up in Northern California. So I was driving up Highway 5, which is the key highway that goes up and down the coast, driving up that and was getting there about like 8 days early so we could prep for tour and all that. And basically the instrumentals for the album were done, but we were going on tour. And then when I came home from tour, I was going to do my vocals. On that drive up is when Trump closed the borders, closed the travel restrictions. And on that drive, bam, tours were dropping like crazy. People were flying their bands home and we knew our tour was going to drop. So it dropped. But the silver lining was that I got to stay up there. I was going to be gone anyway. So I stayed up there and tracked my vocals and got everything done like a month early. So that did kind of help us out, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Crazy times, dude.
Crazy, man.
But, you know, in regards to the theme of the album, I get a bit of a Blade Runner futuristic vibe with this one, especially.
Yeah, man.
You know,
totally. The goal was to write this a metal soundtrack to Blade Runner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a heavy soundtrack to Blade Runner.
Nice.
And I think it kind of worked, you know?
Well, I get with the artwork too. I mean, whose eyeball is that on the cover? I'm gonna flash the cover up.
It's our drummers.
It's cool.
He just got real baked and just we blew a bunch of smoke in his eye.
And is that Braille in the corner of the cover?
It's not Braille. It's
No?
just digital. Like it's almost supposed to be like if you could see Morse code. You know, it's not necessarily Braille because you have to be able to like feel Braille. I guess you have to be able to hear Morse code, but it's more just like a digital scan.
I like it. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's a really good cover, man. Like it's, you know,
Thanks.
Yeah, it's gonna look right on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually like, that's like, it was like, the idea came from Max, our guitar player. He's super good with like art and graphics and stuff. So he came up with the concept and made like the mock versions of it, which was pretty close. But then we gave it to Ori, the guy who does all of our video stuff. Is a savage like digital art graphic design guy, and he took it from like probably 50% to 100% or something like that. Yeah. Like made it official. It was, and like looking at like the older version and then the newer version, it's like, it's cool to see it develop.
How's that moment? It's pretty special when you see it and it's like finished. It's like,
we're like, yo, like it feels official that this album is happening. Once it gets like an album cover and you all agree on it, it feels like official, like almost more official than having like the legit masters, you know?
How good is it?
You're like, yeah, all these songs exist, but what do they go on? It's almost as like the same as when you decide on the album name. You're like, the album has a name and it has a visual now. Like it's getting real.
So what in regards to the name, what's the concept behind Passenger?
The concept is basically that we're all like passengers in this life. And a lot of the times it feels like life is just taking the wheel and you don't really have a say in what's going on. And it's all about, you know, riding that out and trying to find your own way, not just as a passenger, but then we also wanted to have you feel like you're a passenger along for the ride of the album with us. And so it kind of has like a double meaning.
Dig it. And did you guys write it like the old school way? Do you jam out in the room and you get that vibe?
It's been a while since we've done it like that. Like certain things still get hashed out that way, but a lot of it is done just like on a computer, where we just sit there with a guitar and riff out, program some drums to it, see how it's feeling. And a lot of times when Johnny, our new bass player / clean vocalist, and Truman, our drummer, they'll be like in the garage where we practice and do a little bit of writing, and we have like a setup in there for recording. So Johnny will like come up with a riff and he'll be like tracking it on the computer, and then Truman will listen to him, and then he'll start jamming it, and then they'll actually play it, and they'll come up with a new idea, develop on it, go back into the computer, tweak it, and make it kind of more official.
It's technology, man. It's crazy, isn't
Change
it?
everything.
It
Change
does,
everything.
Man. Yeah, definitely.
I specifically remember just being in high school, and the only possible way to write songs was guitar player comes up with a riff, they sit there and they jam that riff 200 times. The drummer locks into that, and you just listen to them, and then the bass player starts following along, and then they just have to loop it while you try to come up with vocals, and it's like, you don't have to do any of that anymore. So we got no excuse for writing the best music that we can. Everybody, really, you know?
Yeah, that's it. But I don't know, there's something about those days as well.
Absolutely.
Making up words that don't, you know, and then you fix it up later.
Yeah, totally.
And of course, visually, the video clips are stunning, man. Like they're next.
Thanks.
They're some of the amazing stuff I've seen. Looks really expensive. Good.
It is. It is. Honestly, we especially like, even if we weren't going through this pandemic and all that, I still would want the visuals to be as good as they are, because we wanted the album visuals to be on par with the sound, because like you can put out a music video that can make a song worse, or you can put out a music video that can make a song better. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the video comes out and you're like, the video's so bad that you're distracted. You never even get to appreciate the song. But then a really good video comes out, and it's like, even if the song's okay, you're like, that was fucking tight, you know? So we wanted to make sure that visuals matched the audio, and that was really important to us. And even like now during the pandemic, when no one can see you play live and everyone is like watching and has all this time on their computers, on their phones, it felt like even more important to make sure that the visuals were next level too.
And you didn't actually set that car on fire. Was it Lamborghini?
Yeah, we burnt that thing to the ground, dude.
There was a whole bunch.
Yeah, all VFX, man. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but our guy Ori is just next level.
It looked real enough that I was like, no.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No cars were harmed in the making of this film. Right?
Nope.
Yeah. And of course, album number 4 for you guys. That's you know, that's a hell of a lot to achieve these days, since most bands only get to album number 3 by their 9th or 10th year together. But you guys, you know, you've busted your asses pretty hard and worked really, really hard to achieve everything you have. And I'm sure that hasn't been without its challenges throughout the years. What's been the most difficult thing to overcome apart from this year? What would you say?
Just like keeping your head in the game and it's just keeping on going. I give this advice to like bands that are asking me like, what did you do to get to where you are? And it's like, we just didn't break up. Like so many people just break up, you know, we're like, just don't break up. Just keep going. Just, you know, and it's having a life outside of the band that can somehow monetarily support you. And, it's just the hardest thing. 'Cause when you're home from tour, like you can only do so much band stuff before you're going to be living on the streets. Like we don't make none of us have made any money from Kingdom ever. Any money that's ever come in, it's been put back into the band, paying off debts, doing whatever we got to do. So we all have to do something when we're home to make ends meet, you know, and just in between tours. So we don't get paid on tour either. So it's like, it's tough, man.
What do you do when you're not up there rocking it?
I am a videographer, photographer, so I'm shoot music videos, shoot weddings, do all that kind of stuff.
Hey man, it's still creative. You know what I mean?
I think that, dude, I think that it's totally something that bands coming up and like newer bands need to realize, is that there's a lot of expenses for your band, and you can cut down on your expenses and you can create a career individually if you all take on a certain role that you find interesting. Someone can do all your merch designs, eventually get good enough to do graphic design and sell other merch designs to other bands. Someone can do photography and videography and help with your music videos and help take your promos. Promos cost $500 for a promo session. Music videos can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000. You know, and what about recording? Like someone needs to record the ideas, and I started off doing that. Like I just got a little setup so that I could record my ideas, and over time you get super interested in it. And next thing you know, your mixes are good enough. And, you know, I mixed a couple of our songs that have been out, and so I have bands hitting me up to mix now. So it's like, you got to use your bands to formulate your own path outside of, oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah.
Sorry.
There you
I got
go.
low battery on my phone.
Oh,
I hate
no.
to see it. It's all good. Yeah, you know, to just kind of forge your own way outside of the band, you know?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And you guys are doing an AMA on October 21st, I believe.
Yeah.
That's a good way of celebrating and making it interactive with the fans and stuff like that. But how else are you going to celebrate this release, man? Like you're gonna have some.
Oh yeah.
Or how you can do it?
I don't. It's like you think we'd have a plan by now, you know. But you know, I think we're just gonna naturally put it out there, get the response, and then kind of figure out what we want to do from there. It's like we can't really have a listening party. Like we want to premiere some stuff online, like just get online visually and just talk about the album. Like do like on Reddit, we're gonna do the AMA, but I think we might do one on, you know, Twitch, where we actually just get on and maybe we listen to some of the songs with everyone that's in there, and just try to connect, because I think that's what it's all about right now, is figuring out a way to connect with the listeners, with the fans, and with our people.
Absolutely, dude. Are you going to do like a live stream show at some point?
I think at some point we will, and maybe we'll just do it of maybe the singles or something like that, because I think those are cool. I think that they are a bit of a novelty, and I hope that by the time, like, a lot of really good ones have been done. So I feel like I just don't want to be late to the game and have people not interested anymore, where they're like, oh, we've seen a bunch of bands do this. But if we feel like it's worth it, we will, because they do cost a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
Yeah. I mean, between the location and someone to mix it and the lighting and whoever's going to film it and edit it, it's like cost as much as our next album might. So who knows?
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully everything eases soon, so we can see you back on the road. But in regards to that, I mean, I know you've toured with our own Polaris, and
we didn't get to tour with them just yet, but we're this close.
Happening?
We had some things that were working their way around with Sharptone stuff, but it obviously didn't happen at this point.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's a dream, though. Those are the boys right there. We've been wanting to do that.
Have you toured down here before?
No, we never been to Australia yet. That's a bucket list one for sure.
Well,
that's the next move.
That's got to do it, man.
I know. That's next.
Hit the road with those boys.
That'd
maybe
be
the
so
Alpha
great.
Wolf boys. That'd be cool.
Dude, I mean, what a tour. I mean, that's for us. For us, that's pretty dream right there. Like a bunch of Sharptone bands that are on the come up, on the rise right now, putting out fire. Right? To be a part of that would be awesome for us.
Well, I'm just going to send my money through here now.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Throw all the money. Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. Have you been down here at all yourself, or not?
No, I haven't. My brother went there last year on like a snowboarding mission, and I was super jealous I didn't get to go, but I had a lot of stuff going on. So that's definitely a goal to get there.
Yeah, dude. Well, barbecues, beers.
Yeah, dude.
Be ready, brother.
Yeah. What's the stuff you put on the toast? Vegemite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for everyone. You know what I mean?
Not for everyone. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's worth trying the first time in your life.
Yeah, I will.
Pretty good, but I know people that hate it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks again for joining us on this show. The new King of Giants album, Passenger, is available everywhere now. And we will have the links down here. All the best to you and the boys. And have some beers and celebrate the album because it really kicks ass. And we will see you boys very, very soon.
All right, man. Hopefully see you soon.
Be here.
Appreciate being on.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, dude. We'll tag you.
Sounds great.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Later, G.